Hi there, and welcome to the second of our E3 2017 Post-Mortem conference threads, for this time for Microsoft and the Xbox show. Joining me today, I've got Corazon de Leon. Say hello, man.
Hello.
And returning again, we've got Super Dragon 64. Say hello, Dragon.
Hello.
Okay, so quite a bit to get through, so I think we're just going to dive right on in. I think the first thing really to kind of speak about is obviously the big part. The big thing that they showed was obviously they finally revealed Project Scorpio, or as it's officially known, Xbox One X. So, just initial quick reactions here. What did you guys think? Cora, you want to go first?
Um, the price point is probably the biggest thing for me. $499. Not a fan. Not a fan of
Mm.
that at all.
Yeah, I mean, I
Um,
think it was. I think it was quite a bit higher than I think people were expecting, or rather hoping. I mean, I think that we always kind of knew. I think it was going to be a premium price point, but I think most people were hoping maybe 4 to 450, at most for it. So yeah, 499 is going to be a bit of an ask for some people. Um, Dragon, what have you got to think about that?
The hardware looks fantastic and sounds fantastic. It is expensive, but I feel that given what you get, it's a good price. I feel like it will be good value for money, but yeah, as the show went on, my interest in buying one dwindled severely. But as long as it's not too loud, I think that it will be a remarkable piece of kit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's. I think you've kind of. For me, I think you're right. I mean, for what you get, I think 499 isn't an unreasonable price. It's just it pushes it just out of width of that kind of price point where people are maybe more likely to kind of go, you know what, yeah, I'll get one. 400 to 450. Don't get me wrong, it's still high, but it's kind of just out within that range. Whereas you put something like 499, you're talking 500 dollars in this case, but it will end up when it comes over here, it'll probably be the same.
Oh no, it's confirmed 450 over here.
Have they confirmed 450? Okay, well,
Yeah.
that's maybe not quite as bad, but even then, still, it's a lot of money to ask for something that I think that didn't show it maybe perhaps as big an improvement as people were kind of hoping. I mean, obviously they got Kareem Chowdhury, the kind of tech guy who just basically spoke numbers at us for a few minutes and really lots of big numbers. But I think beyond one or two games that they showed, there wasn't really any kind of this is why you have to have a Scorpio moment, or this is why you have to have an X moment. So yeah, I mean, from a technical point of view, Cora, is there anything else that you kind of thought was quite interesting about it, or didn't like, or
Sorry.
I was saying from like a technical point of view? I mean, was there anything that you were disappointed with the X, or was it technically what you were expecting from it?
Oh no, don't get me wrong. It's incredibly powerful. It looks like it's one of the one of the most powerful consoles I've ever seen. Obviously, I'm just looking at it compared to the PS4 specs and the PS4 Pro specs, and it's very very strong.
Mm-hmm.
450s, as Dragon says, a pretty good price point for what you're getting. I think it probably just about alienates those of us who are on the lower income bracket from being able to go out and pick one up day one.
Mm-hmm.
That's really my only issue with it. I think.
Yeah, and I think certainly personally, I think I like the look of it. I mean, I think they are clearly kind of for all it's a massively more powerful machine, it is still an Xbox One at heart, so it kind of fits in with the aesthetic of the other ones. While at the same time, I think they were saying being the smallest Xbox they've ever made, which I thought was quite impressive. Yeah, I mean, I think it looks like a nice bit of kit. It's a decent bit of tech. It's just what do they have that really is going to take advantage of it? And I think that brings us in quite nicely to the kind of first game that they showed, really kind of in depth, which is what they'd been kind of showing at Digital Foundry a couple of months ago, which was Forza. And now for me, I mean, I've not had an Xbox since the 360, so I never really got into Forza on that either, so I don't have any kind of real attachment to it. But I mean, certainly it looks good. I mean, it's a very, very good looking game. But is it enough to get somebody to buy an X over like a one or an S? Dragon, what do you think about Forza and anything you think about that?
I enjoy more arcade like racing games, and the Forza series seems to be split between Motorsport, which is closer to sim, and Horizon, which is close to arcade. So I'm more tempted to pick up Horizon 3, but I won't lie, the video that we saw of Forza 7 looked incredible. And I was almost tempted to put that onto my list of games to buy. I may actually do so just to see how good it looks if I do get Horizon and really get into it. But it does look fantastic, and it was running at a glorious 60 frames a second. So you can't really knock that. Technically, it is quite incredible. If it looks and runs that well on the actual console when it comes out at the end of the year, props to the developers.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think that they made a big push on the whole 4K 60 frames per second thing, which it's something I didn't think we would see for at least another few years. I mean, even now we're still trying to push to get 1080 60 frames per second, and it's to have a machine out there that's going, oh, by the way, here's this game, we're doing it in 4K at 60 frames per second is quite incredible. So yeah, I mean, that's certainly technically very, very interesting. As a game, I mean, like I said, I'm kind of yourself. I lean more towards the arcade side of racing games. So I mean, I love things like Burnout and so on. Whereas the sim side never really did too much for me. The closest thing I've ever got to playing a sim is Drive Club, which I really enjoy. But so for me, this doesn't really do anything. But if you like your sim racing games, I think it looks fantastic. And I made a note of the fact that they said they can have dynamic puddles in it, so that's certainly one to put in the back of the box. What about you, Cora? Does Forza do anything for you?
I'm on the fence about it. I've watched a bit of footage from the E3 sort of demo stuff, and it's I like Forza, but I'm not sure it's a sort of system selling IP for me. It looks excellent technically, as you say, it's very, very interesting, but I'm not sure I'll be sort of going out to get it straight away. I'll maybe wait a little while and see what it looks like when it comes out. It looks spectacular though. It really, really does.
Yeah, I think it's one of those games that you're going to walk into, like a game shop or something like that, and they're going to have their 4K telly, and they're going to have that on it, and it's going to look absolutely stunning. It's going to do a lot, I think, to sell to people who are maybe kind of on the fence about it and haven't had the chance to see it in action. But at the same time, again, it's the price of the X is going to really, I think, kind of minimize that audience quite a bit. Especially when and this kind of works for and against them in some ways. All these games are fully playable on Xbox One as it is. So you don't need to buy an X to play Forza Horizon 7. You do need to buy it if you want it to look like that. But I think it makes it a slightly harder sell. But certainly it seems to be the game they're pushing the most for it initially, and so we'll see how that gets on for them and how that works out. So yeah, moving on. I think the next thing they kind of showed was, I think it was one of the few kind of real surprises for me, which was there's a new Metro game coming. Metro Exodus, which I think they said is coming out next year, and the kind of footage they showed was all apparently in-engine, although I question if whether or not it's actual gameplay. So, I mean, Cora, what did you think of that? I mean, is Metro a series that you've been interested in?
It's one of those ones I've never had the chance to pick up and really get involved in. So I'm liking the look of this. Actually, as you say, it doesn't necessarily look like it's in-game footage, but I'm really liking the look of this, and I think this is one that I'm going to keep an eye on and pick up when it comes out, because again, the Metro series always interested me. I just didn't have the money to pick it up really. But yeah, I'm quite excited for this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same. I've never played one of the games before because they always seem to me to kind of walk that fine line between being like a shooter and being a kind of horror game or not maybe a horror game but like a scary game. And I am a legendary shitebag, so I don't play things that give me frights. I've been and I hate it when a game that otherwise isn't does something that makes me jump. Bioshock Infinite has that moment in it that just made me go, why did they do that? So I mean, I've kind of stayed away from the Metro games, but certainly that looked really, really good. And like I said, if that is what it's going to look like when you're actually playing it, then yeah, that's something that I'm going to be interested to take a look at. Probably on my PS4 at some point. So yeah, to be honest, it might make me go back and look at the earlier ones because I do have the first one on the PC. I've just I think I got it in a bundle or something, and I've just never played it. So I'll maybe go back to that at some point. Dragon, what about you? Any interest there for you?
I've got both the games on PC, but it's they've always been on my I'll play it later list. But I'm looking. I do want to play it eventually, along with the Stalker games. For me, they seem more like Half-Life with, like you said, more horror feel. So knowing that there's another one in development is good because I was worried how well the Metro games had been received in terms of commercial success, even though they had remastered ports or something on the PS4 and possibly Xbox One. Overall, the footage looked great in terms of the visuals, but as you said, it's in engine. I don't think that I doubt I'm skeptical as to whether the final Xbox version, the console version, will look like that.
Yeah.
But I'm hopeful that with the right PC hardware, you can get something that looks that good. And yeah, I mean, it did look scripted, but if you have wild animals acting like that and you can play around with the environment in such a way, it could be a great game. So it's definitely one to watch.
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of put it back on my radar certainly, and it's kind of made me think about like I said, going back and playing the original. So yeah, definitely it looked good. Hopefully the end product looks as good when it's actually being played. Which brings us on to another one of the kind of big kind of games that they showed, which was the new Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed Origins, which is just it's one of the most generic bloody subtitles you can add onto a game, and it always disappoints me when a game does it. But yeah, I mean, it looks like Assassin's Creed, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, Assassin's Creed, it's a decent series for the most part, and I think they have done the right thing in taking a break for a year and then coming out with something after that, because I think the yearly schedule was kind of burning people out on them. But yeah, looks good. I think I like Egypt. Like the Eagle kind of scout mechanic was kind of cool. And they've got the standard kind of RPG progression in there as well. So yeah, I quite like the look of that. I'll probably pick that up at some point. Cora, does Assassin's Creed do anything for you?
It's not something that interested me at all watching that. I've never been an Assassin's Creed fan, and as much as I like the ancient Egypt aesthetic, it's done very little to change my mind. I keep going back to the film. The film just screams Assassin's Creed quality to me.
Yeah.
Very, very standard, bog standard, video gamey, generic stuff. And this one just seems like more of the same. So I'm not excited for this one, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I think, I mean, as much as I do enjoy the series, they are all quite similar. It's like every so often one will come out that does something quite different and that does it in an interesting way. Like Black Flag, for example, kind of came out after the kind of disappointment that was 3, and was really, really good. And then, you had the kind of PS4 kind of generation ones, with Unity and Syndicate, which, were decent enough, looked really good, but, also had a lot of problems and were in many ways a step back. So hopefully this can do something interesting. It doesn't look drastically different, so I'm not expecting too much new from it, but yeah, I mean, for me, Assassin's Creed, it is kind of like you said, it's a generic kind of popcorny kind of series, and I don't mind that to an extent, and I'm quite happy to sit there and play one for a while, and I know what I'm going to get for it, and I know I'm going to have some fun with it, but that ultimately it's not going to change the world. For me, but yeah, so we'll kind of see how that goes, and hopefully that'll turn out decent. Dragon, same to you. I mean, what do you think?
I really enjoy the ancient Egypt setting. I think that's my
Mhm.
favorite era setting in history. So using that in any game will get points from me. And I've been meaning to go back into the Assassin's Creed series for a while because I've only played two and I didn't even finish that. I was hoping to, well, I was planning to pick up Syndicate in a sale on PC
Mhm.
because um, I also enjoy games set in England. So if you're not going to go for ancient Egypt, if you go for England, you're going to get my attention. Um, so I might still get that in some sale. But anyway, given that I've only played one game out of the 10 or so there are, I'm not really burned out on the series.
Yeah,
And a lot of these features that have been present since 4 will be new to me anyway. And
yeah,
I've seen the game since 4, so I was hoping for a bigger shift, a bigger difference between Origins and Syndicate, which was the last mainline title. But it still looks interesting enough for me to think, yeah, I'm still interested in this series, and I'll definitely jump into this one. Pretty much probably on day one. I need to double check when it comes out. I think it comes out October 27th, so I'll probably jump into that when it does launch. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
yeah. I mean, again, I think we'll see how it goes. I mean, I do kind of think that like yourself, I kind of maybe hoped for a bigger kind of leap, the bigger change from the last ones to this one, beyond just the setting, because obviously they've taken a year out, you know, you know, and you kind of get the impression that it's not just to give us a break, but it's also to kind of give them a chance to do something a little bit different with it, and it just didn't seem to do that. It looks like more Assassin's Creed, which like I said, if you enjoy it, great. If you don't, I don't think it's going to do anything to change your mind. Which I think kind of Cora kind of touched on there. So yeah, that'll be out later in the year. I'm sure it'll be a decent Assassin's Creed game. Which kind of moved on just quickly to PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which is a game I've kind of been eyeing up on the PC for the past month or two now. So for that to be coming to consoles is kind of quite interesting to me. I think it was the first one in the show that had that kind of console launch exclusive blurb attached to it, which I think we were talking earlier on. I think seems to me just another word for it's a timed exclusive. It's going to be on the Xbox for maybe a month or so, or whatever, before it comes to PlayStation. So I'm certainly interested to look at that because by all accounts it's a lot of fun. Dragon, have you had a chance to see any of that or play any of that?
I haven't played it, and I haven't seen much of it. So to me, I still to be convinced. Yeah, pretty much that's it. I mean, I've heard the game, but I never really looked into it because I heard
Hmm.
it's a multiplayer thing, and my multiplayer time is low as it is, so I didn't really look into this too much. But yeah, I can see the excitement for from console fans when they heard that this is coming to Xbox at least. So yeah, it is good that more people will enjoy something that has already been enjoyed by a lot of people on PC. As you said, it is very popular already, so um,
Yeah.
it's good to see it it's good to see it reach a big audience.
Yeah, I think it definitely seems to, like I said, be doing well on PC. So yeah, it's good that like you said, more people are going to get a chance to play it. What about you, Cora? Are you familiar with it at all?
I know absolutely nothing of the PC version, but I've watched the trailer for this, and it seems. I mean, it seems it looks pretty good. It seems to play
Hmm.
well. I think if there's a decent crowd of people getting it from GR, I'll probably pick it up because I've been kind of missing a good multiplayer game for a while. So it's another one that feels a bit generic, but it could really go either way for me. I think at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's kind of it's part of that kind of niche that kind of sprung up after DayZ, kind of made an impact. These kind of multiplayer survival games, where you're thrown into this massive area, and then you've got to survive as long as you can. But I like, from what I've seen of this, I like this because it does kind of condense the action a bit. If you're familiar with also the movie Battle Royale, how it has safe zones, and so as the game progresses, this safe area shrinks and shrinks and shrinks. So as the game progresses, it starts forcing all the players together. So and then it's last man standing wins kind of thing. So it looks really interesting, and from what I've played of it, like I said, it looks a lot of fun. So I've been kind of toying with picking it up in the PC. So I might still get the PC version, but a console version would not be unwelcome either. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Um, yeah, so moving on, they kind of showed a couple of smaller games at this point. They showed a game called Deep Rock Galactic, which looked like a four-player mining co-op game, which kind of first-person shooter kind of thing, which I thought looked quite good. But it was literally just a trailer for that. Did either of you guys see that one?
I'll be honest, I missed it completely, so I can't really say much about it. But I've got it up just now, so I'm having.
What about you, Dragon? Did you get a chance to look at it?
Sorry, just remind me again what it was.
Deep Rock Galactic. It was just one of the ones where it was just a trailer they showed. Nobody said anything about it, and it was quite a short trailer. It was only maybe 30, 40 seconds.
No, I
and
I think that is one that I missed. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it looked okay. Like I said, it looked like a four-player kind of mining co-op shooter. So
Oh, I remember that one.
You were
Some
kind
people were saying was like Federation Force.
Yeah, it had a kind of Federation
Ah.
Force kind of vibe to it, and it looked like you were kind of going down into these caves and these mines and finding resources and digging them, but at the same time there were like waves of insects and things coming after you, and the terrain looked deformable as well, so it looked like you could like break through walls and choose your own kind of paths, which looked quite interesting. So that was another one of these console launch exclusives, so maybe interesting to see more of that when it comes up.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that could be fun with 3 other people.
Yeah.
So if a group plans to buy it on the forum, then I'll jump in. If only just to see what it is like. But yeah, I think that definitely will rely on a group. But it does look like it could be fun.
Yeah, it looks interesting. Although I mean, I'm assuming again that it's going to come to PS4 at some point. It's got PS Plus written all over it.
Yep, having just had a look at the trailer, actually that looks right up my alley. It looks fun. The bugs chasing around, the deformable terrain and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if there's a group playing it, I'd be quite interested in that.
Yeah, definitely. And then that led us on to State of Decay 2, which they didn't really show much of beyond the kind of cinematic trailer that they showed off, but looked like more State of Decay, which I mean, I never played much of the original, but it's that by all accounts that was a pretty decent game. Cora, I mean, did you play any of the first one?
I've never played the first one. It's one of the. It's a bit like Metro in that it's always been kind of on the list, but never quite made it to the top of the list. So I'm thinking I might pick up State of Decay 2. I'm at a point now where I've actually got a bit more time for gaming. So this is one that again, as you say, they didn't show too much of it. But if it turns out, well, I think this is going to be right up my alley.
Yeah, definitely. It's hopefully it'll kind of expand on the kind of stuff the first one did, and it looked to have all the same kind of elements, like crafting your base, making decisions about characters and so on. So yeah, looking forward to that. Dragon, you got anything to say about State of Decay?
I skipped the first one because to me it just looked like a DayZ wannabe, and I didn't really. Yeah, it didn't really catch my attention. So for 2, I haven't. Again, I've still not seen anything to make me think I'll come back into this, especially now, where since DayZ and since the original State of Decay, we've had about 3 million zombie games. It really will take something special for me to look at a zombie game and decide that I will buy it and play it. For me, didn't really do anything.
Yeah, I think there was a kind of theme that's kind of ran through a lot of the shows so far, this year, and it's just like, it's more post-apocalyptic wastelands and zombies, and it is starting to get a bit. For me, it's starting to get a bit wearing. Like, can we come up with some new settings, please? But yeah, State of Decay 2 looked all right from the trailer they showed, and we'll just kind of see more of that when it arrives. Then they showed a brief trailer and a little bit of gameplay footage for the Darwin project, which looked almost like almost like a deathmatch kind of game, and that was the one they had where it was like almost like they had a live commentator, kind of going, "Oh my god, she's doing this," and she was hunting the guy down, in like in a snowy kind of waste place, and it looked all right. What about you guys? Anything to say about that?
I thought that the highlight of it was actually the commentator. I know that not
Yeah.
everyone liked him, but I felt like he brought a lot to the game, which otherwise looked quite generic, as in it could have been anything, and until you had this commentator, it would have just been, I'm just gonna look at something else for a few minutes. But he kept my attention, but I sincerely doubt that you'll have anything like that in the final release. So if there's more to Darwin, then great. If not, it looks like it'll fade quite quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it looked interesting, but yeah, that's my kind of worry as well, that how much kind of interest is it going to generate? For me, it looks like it's going to have like a user base for a couple of weeks, and then it's going to tank, unless it comes out of nowhere and does really, really well. Corav, did you have the chance to see that one, or?
I've had a quick look at it. I've seen it described as Hunger Games Overwatch crossover that you never knew you wanted. But I'm going to be honest, I don't particularly want that crossover. I haven't had a look at it. If the announcer is the most interesting part of the game, it's not usually a good sign. Everybody loves a good announcer. For deathmatch, they've been going since Unreal Tournament, but it's not. It shouldn't be the selling point, and it shouldn't be the thing that both me and Dragon have picked up on as the most interesting part of the trailer. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be high up my list. I'm happy to be proven wrong, but it's not going to be too high up my list, I don't think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, well, yeah, hopefully it'll turn out to be a bit better than we're kind of thinking it might be at the moment. But yeah, so again, moving on, because we've got a lot to get through here. Was there Minecraft section, which, well, it's more Minecraft. It's they've added in the community marketplace thing where you can buy maps and other stuff. That looks quite interesting. For me, the kind of big takeaway from that was that they're adding in crossplay, so you're going to be able to play with people on different platforms. They say mobile, VR, PC, and consoles. So quite how that's going to work, I'm not entirely sure, because presumably it means you couldn't take, say, for example, the Switch version or the PS4 version and then log into the G Arcade Minecraft map, simply because of the built-in size limits those games have. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that, and how they're going to kind of get them to work across those platforms. And beyond that, it was like 4K. Okay, great. Blocks and even higher resolution. And then they showed off the super duper graphics pack, which, to be fair, did look pretty nice. Even if it was just lots and lots of bloom effects. Cora, I mean, did you play much Minecraft at all, or?
It's not my thing, really, Minecraft. I know a few people that played it, and I've been chatting to them, and they're quite excited about the stuff that's been announced. But it's not speaking to me as much as it really should be, I don't think. Minecraft's not something I've ever really had the time to put into. That I think you need, for an open world building game like that, you need a lot of time to really get involved in what's going on. But the stuff seems good if you're a Minecraft player. For me, it just seems like extras for a game I'm not really involved in.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think you're quite right. I mean, if you don't have the time to really spend with Minecraft, then yeah, there's not much really that you can do with it, unfortunately. You can only really dip your toes in, and you do, like I said, need to spend some time to really get the most out of it. Dragon, what about you? Because I know you have played some Minecraft in the past. Any interest there for you?
I just again, suddenly I just don't have the time to sink into it. So for me, the interest is gone. I'd be more likely to play the Switch version. But given that there's so many other games that I'd want to play, it's low on my list. I will say, going back to your earlier question, I've read that the crossplay will be enabled by having new kind of servers that facilitate crossplay, which will get around that limitation. So if you want huge maps, you can do it, but you won't have crossplay. And conversely, if you want crossplay, you can do so with a smaller map. And I'll also make one more point, that a blogger at Windows Central has explained that it's crossplay with Switch, but not PlayStation 4, because Sony didn't really approve of that. So as it stands, you've got PC, Xbox, Switch, tablets, phones able to play with each other, but not the PS4 for a bizarre reason that I haven't really been able to explore further. But yeah, that's currently my understanding of the situation. But yeah, it's definitely great to be able. It's definitely great to see gamers from who have different hardware being able to play together.
Yeah, no, definitely. So good news for Minecraft fans. And then carrying on, it was a lot of kind of smaller games that we kind of got a wee run through here, so we'll just kind of quickly go through these and see if there's anything that kind of piqued our interest. A new Dragon Ball Z fighting game, a 2D Dragon Ball Z fighting game by the look of it. Wasn't expecting that. Well, I say 2D, but it was 3D models, but on a 2D plane, kind of Street Fighter style. I wasn't expecting that. I kind of put it down, maybe that it looked like Epilepsy the game, because it was just constant action. And I suppose if you're a fan of Dragon Ball Z and you're a fan of fighters, then yeah, it could be interesting. Either of you guys Dragon Ball Z fans?
I'm a fan. I like Dragon Ball Z. I'm always interested to see a new Dragon Ball Z IP pop up. I'm always interested to see a fighting game pop up, because if you've seen the anime, there's so much different. There's so many different ways you can take that. If I can, beat the living hell out of Cell or Vegeta or whoever in an interesting and novel way, then I'm always interested to see what it is. So I'll be keeping an eye on this one. I think.
Yeah, I think so. It looked pretty good, actually. I mean, and I remember playing like the old SNES ones, which were like 2D beat 'em ups. Then they were quite. They were good fun. So it'll be good to kind of see them going back to that, because for all the the kind of the Xenoverse games and the 3D fighters that they've had the past year, they've always been a wee bit hard to get into for me. As much as I love Dragon Ball, it's always been a wee bit tough for me to get into them. So something like this might be kind of right up my alley. What about you, Dragon? Any interest?
It looked great, but for me, there's so many fighting games that I want to play and that I won't really be able to play much, that I'm not going to really look to pick it up. But yeah, I can see why fans of the series or the Dragon Ball fighting games would enjoy it. It did look exciting, so it was good.
Yeah, hopefully it can live up to that. Okay, and then like I said, it was just more small games. There was a couple of things they showed there. There was Black Desert, which was quite a nice looking game. I think they said it was an MMORPG that was coming out to it. The Last Night, which had that really kind of cool kind of Blade Runner pixel art look to it, and which I think has actually got a little bit of controversy surrounding it in the past day or so. Because of the creator and his kind of association with Gamergate and his views on a few things. So, but that's a shame, because I thought that looked really, really interesting. But it seems obviously kind of be getting caught up in that. But I don't really want to go into that too much. Either of those games look interesting to you guys?
I kind of missed it. I saw the Gamergate controversy pop up on my Twitter feed.
Mm-hmm.
Again, and that was about the long and short of what I got from both of those two games. So stuff I need to look into, I think. And yeah, Gamergate is not something that we ever need to speak about again. To be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's like, why is this coming up again? I mean, can we, you know, I thought we'd moved past this shit a couple of years ago.
Absolutely.
But yeah, like I said, I don't want to kind of go down that path again. It's a fucking joke. Dragon, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, the last night did look good. Even though it's, as some may say, just pixel art, the style was striking, and the effects, especially the lighting, where you've got
Yeah.
it pouring out of windows from buildings to brighten up the ground outside. Little touches like that just make you just really draw you into look past what people would see as a simple art style to something that is really full of life, and where less is more, even though there's actually a lot going on if you just stop to look at it. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, it'll be good to kind of see what comes of the actual game itself and kind of go from there. And then they had another couple of games mentioned. They had the Artful Escape, which looked like playing, looked like a 2D platformer based around like the trippiest music video you've ever seen. And then Code Vein, which looked very kind of Dark Souls-ish. Yeah, thought both of them looked quite interesting. I liked the music for the Artful Escape. Lots of kind of heavy rock riffs and so on, so that was good for me.
I was hoping that we'd see more of Code Vein, because I didn't see that what we saw there. It didn't really look much different to the trailer we saw a little while ago. And you're right in thinking, or you're right in seeing it as a Dark Souls kind of thing, because it's made by the people that made God Eater, God Hunt, or whatever.
God Hand?
The team from Capcom. Not God Hand, something else. But yeah, it is going off for that kind of Dark Souls feel. So I'm interested to see more of that. And I was hoping that I'd see something a bit different to what we saw, but it still looks good.
And that kind of said that brought us on to their next kind of big kind of show part where they kind of showed off Sea of Thieves. Now I know Sea of Thieves has been one of those games that they've shown it for the past couple of years now, and I think it's looking like it's almost there. It's quite there. But for me, as much as I enjoyed what they showed and I love the look of it and I love the idea of it, I thought it was really well presented. I loved the commentary; it was really good. My question is there going to be enough variety to it? Or is what they showed there, is that pretty much it? Is that the whole game? You go to a place, you find some treasure, you take it to a place to get the money for it, or you find a wreck and then you get the treasure and you go something. I'm wondering how much variety there's going to be in it, and that's my only real concern about it. Apart from that, I thought it looked really good, and I'm quite interested in it. But yeah, is there the variety? Cora, what about you? Have you been following Sea of Thieves at all? Is it something that interests you?
It's something that I've picked up quite recently, actually. I'd like to be able to put my trust in Rare the way that I used to be able to with like GoldenEye and Perfect Dark and N64 output. But as you say, looking at it, there is a question about whether or not there's going to be enough for me to keep me interested. It's reminding me a little bit of I don't know if you remember the Wind Waker, the part of Wind Waker where you just have to sail around the sea and sort of drop anchor and drop your hook.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit worried about it, and that's a shame because I love pirates. I love pirate themed things, and I think this could be very, very good. I hope that it's a return to N64 era Rare rather than Xbox 360 era Rare, if you like.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's something I think most people who kind of grew up with Rare, and I do say Rare rather than their previous incarnation Ultimate, where we want to see them get back to that kind of level of quality again. Where it was every game they brought out was like, oh my god, there's a new Rare game coming out. Whereas now it's kind of like, all right, what are they doing? All right, okay, they're actually making a game. Okay, cool. Because they think they spent so long kind of out in the wilderness with the Xbox 360, doing the avatars and the rubbish Kinect games, and it's just like, why are you getting them to make these games when they've got a pedigree in making these other really good types of games? So yeah, it's good to see them getting their teeth into something a bit meatier, and I'm just hoping that they're able to pull it off, because I always want to root for Rare. I always want them to kind of like you said, get back to that quality that they had in the past. Dragon, what about you?
Every time I've seen Sea of Thieves, I've not been impressed by the gameplay, and I didn't see much different in terms of the gameplay from that video, but I did like the music and especially the narrator, so that made me think that it would be a much better single player game with a narrator talking to you, the player, as you go along, kind of like the prince in Prince of Persia: Sands of Times would be narrating his story, and if you died, he'd say, no, the story didn't go quite like that. But having that, but more developed, where the narrator is pretty much explaining what's happening on screen, like we saw in that video. Unfortunately, as it's an MMO kind of game, I don't see that happening. And as you said, it doesn't look like there's a lot of variety. If there is in the finished product, great. If there isn't, then oh dear. But at the moment, as impressive as that video was, it was great for the wrong reasons in a way. In that, I don't see what I liked in that video translating to the final game. So I'll keep my eye on it a bit more than I have been previously, but I'm not going to build up my hopes. I'd love to be wrong, but can't see it happening.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I said, for me, it's all about is the variety going to be there for the game? Because I think the stuff that they showed, the things that they showed, did look fun. They did look, enjoyable. It was like, yeah, I can get behind that. I can play that. But for how long am I going to be happy doing those same kind of things over and over again? Is my issue. I mean, I loved the bit where the player jumped in the cannon and gets shot over to the enemy ship. I thought that was really cool. I thought it was quite interesting. And then he beats them all. It's like, great, he's got the ship, and then what does he do? He just jumps off it. Well, can he capture the ship? Can he then go off and go, this is my ship now? What else is there to do with it? Is my question really, and hopefully they've got more to it, and there's more structure to it, and more just things to do, basically. So Sea of Thieves, hoping they can get that to where we would like it to be. And that kind of moved us on to, again, kind of some of their smaller games. I think it was before they moved on to their ID Xbox. Tacoma, which is coming. That's got a release date of the 2nd of August. So looking forward to that. That was from the Fullbright company, the same folks that made Gone Home. So good to see that. Did either of you guys play Gone Home at all?
Nope.
A little bit, but not much. And Tacoma didn't jump out to me.
God's sake, what he's like. I loved Gone Home, so I'm really looking forward to Tacoma, and I think it looks really good. And from what I've read about it, I like the kind of mechanic they've got, whereby you kind of, when you go into rooms, you see bits of story playing out through these kind of phantoms, and it's you've got to piece together all the kind of bits of story that you see to figure out, get some idea what happened, which, and I love that kind of stuff. That's why I liked Gone Home. It was like piecing together the story of what happened to this family, just through the notes and diary entries and so on. I loved all that, so really looking forward to that.
Yeah, that completely passed me by. Actually, that's something that's right up my street. I think if Tacoma's anything like what I'm reading about Gone Home, then I think I'll absolutely be picking that up.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely, give Gone Home a shot if you haven't already, because don't worry, it's not a long game. I mean, maybe 4 to 5 hours at most, to kind of get through it all. But there's so much detail in Gone Home, just in, like the kind of layout of the rooms, and the positioning of items and so on. And like I said, the writing of these kind of notes that are left about diary entries, and even just bits of paperwork lying about it tells you a little bit more about each of the people within this family and their story, and what's going on. And then by the end, you kind of, it builds up to kind of like, oh my god, what's happened, and then you kind of have an idea. You think it's going to go one or two ways, and then it goes a certain way. And I really, really liked Gone Home. I thought it was really well done. So Tacoma, from what I'm hearing, is same people that are making it, so it's going to be very similar in a lot of ways, I would imagine. But the whole idea of that you see parts of this kind of these events playing out, but kind of out of sequence, and then kind of seeing how that goes. So I'm definitely very interested to see more of that. And yeah, so that kind of moved us on to Super Lucky's Tale, which obviously that was an Oculus Rift game, was it not?
I don't think so. That was just a platformer. I say just a platformer, but it's a platformer. Platforms can be great. This looked quite simple.
It looked like it was trying to do Super Mario 3D World.
A very bad attempt at that. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like yeah, it looked like it was doing that.
It looked like my first platformer, and not Mario Maker. My first platformer, more of a I need to make money. I want to make a platformer. Let's put out this and see if we can entice some people to buy it.
No, I don't know. I wouldn't say. I don't think it looked bad. It just, it looked to me as if I was like, all right, okay, well, it looks like I said, Mario 3D World, right down to the kind of movements of the characters and stuff. And to be honest, for it to get a place at Microsoft Show, and for it to be that kind of colourful character-based 3D platformer, is a bit of a change. It's been a while since we've had one that's had that kind of high profile position in a show. I can't remember if Yooka-Laylee turned up at any of them last year, but certainly it's good to see that. And that's coming in November 7th. What about you, Cora? Any interest in that at all?
I like a good platforming game. I like a good adventure platforming game. It looks like someone's kind of smashed together Mario, sort of Super Mario 3D World, Crash Bandicoot, and Sonic the Hedgehog, because the wee guy just looks like Tails.
Yeah.
It feels like a mismatch of ideas. I don't know if it's like as cynical as Dragon kind of noted, but it really. I'm a bit suspicious about it. I'm not overly impressed, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's leapt onto anybody's must-buy lists, not by a long shot. And to be honest, it's not something I see myself playing at any point. But like I said, I think it's nice to see a game like that getting some kind of profile, even if it is doesn't look particularly inspiring.
I think there's a place. I think there's a place for that style of game and that type of game. I'm not sure if this is the game to champion that genre, to be honest with you.
No, definitely not. I definitely agree with you on that. And then that kind of the next thing they kind of showed was Cuphead. Finally getting a release date, which is going to be the 29th of September. Is there anybody who's still kind of interested in it at this point? It's been that long coming. I feel like I've seen more of it than I ever need to.
Me, I'm interested.
Go on.
I didn't know anything about it, but I spent a good 18 months just completely outside games while I was sort of deep into my PhD. And the first I've actually seen of it is today. So I've been watching videos, I've been sort of getting involved in it, and it looks brilliant. I really like the art style, I really like the look of it. It has a kind of retro feel about it, while also harking back to like 30s style cartoons. It reminds me a bit of the Super Nintendo Mickey Mouse games and the Mega Drive Mickey Mouse games.
Yeah, a little bit.
So actually, if it's going to be out at the end of September, that's a perfect birthday present for me. I'm absolutely up for that.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think for me it's more that they've been showing it off for so long now that it is kind of finally here almost. It's kind of a lot of the shines came off it for me. I mean, you are absolutely right. It looks stunning. The animation on it's fantastic. The style of it's fantastic. It's just I want it's. If it'd been out a year or so, like a year ago, I think it would have been perfect for it. As it is, I think like myself, I'm kind of like, okay, is this still coming?
I think I've got the benefit of being really dopey and having completed the first time to do it.
Well, maybe not dopey, but yes, I think you're right. If you've not seen it so far, and then this is the first you're seeing of it, then yeah, absolutely, it's still going to be great. But hopefully it does turn out to be amazing, and I will almost certainly play it when it comes out. So. Yeah, but begrudgingly looking forward to it. What about you, Dragon?
Yeah, it looks good. I'll definitely pick it up if it reviews well, and people have fun with it. I haven't paid much attention to it over the years, so for me as well, I don't feel worn out, and seeing it last night and today, I think it's it looks good. I'm definitely interested.
Good. And then they kind of showed, which for me is the game I've been waiting for since they showed it off like 3-4 years ago. Crackdown 3 is coming November 7th, day one with the X. That's pretty much put me in the position where I'm now buying an Xbox. That was the game I was waiting for for there to be just enough exclusives that I can maybe justify it to myself. I think in the benefit of having slept on it and kind of thought about it a bit more, I'm not sure if I've been tipped over to getting an X for it yet. So I might probably just pick up a 1 or an S, unless things substantially improve for the X over the next couple of months. But Crackdown, yes please, more of that. Cor, I take it you're looking forward to Crackdown as well.
I love Crackdown. It's I got the first Crackdown when it came out. I played it to absolute death. The second one was a bit of a dip, but it was still good enough that I spent a lot of time on it. I got it for next to nothing, and I've played 2 games to absolute death. This trailer had Terry Crews in it. It had explosions. It had buildings falling down. The agility orbs are still there. Everything about this screams to me that I have to play this game. So it's a day one purchase. I love Crackdown. I love the concept of it. I love the open world. I love the way that it's always been kind of tight enough that you don't get lost, while also being big enough that you don't feel trapped. So I'm hoping that they can reproduce all of this with the third one, and I'm really excited for it. I haven't seen the trailer.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's. I mean, I've like yourself. I played the first one when it came out. I think I was one of because there was a lot of people who only bought the first game because it had the Halo 3 demo in it, or the Halo 3 beta invite in it. But I think I was one of the handful of people who actually bought it because they quite liked the look of Crackdown. So that was a nice bonus when I got it, and it turned out to be really really good. And then you like yourself spent so much time playing it. I think that was one of the few games that I got just about all the achievements on. There was only one or two that I didn't. And then the second one came out, it wasn't quite as good, but still really enjoyed it. So that's been quite a while since that one came out. So I'm more than ready for Crackdown 3. And yes, I've been holding out for this, since they first showed it off, and cannot wait. What about you, Dragon? Are you ready to join the agency?
I've been looking forward to it since it was announced, but with like Cuphead with you, as time went on, I just thought, it's still coming soon, and that killed my excitement. But Terry Crews really reinvigorated that. He did a fantastic job of reselling that to me, so I'm definitely back into being hyped for it. And as annoying as the Windows Store has been when I've been trying to download Gears of War this week, I'll try to push through it again later on this year when Crackdown comes out. But I'm definitely not going back there in a hurry. But Crackdown will bring me back to get that go. So yeah, I'm definitely excited. It's a shame it's coming out so close to Battlefront, but I'll deal with that when it comes.
Damn straight. Skills for kills, Agent. Skills for kills.
I think Terry Crews could sell me anything, to be honest with you. I think the second I saw his face, it was an instant buy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's like, here, I'm Terry Crews. Want some crack? Here, buy some crack. Yeah, okay, cheers. Yeah, definitely. Terry Crews that was so good to see him. I love Terry Crews. So yeah, Crackdown looking good. They didn't show too much of it. Just that kind of trailer showing some of the campaign. Looks good. Can't wait for it. That's coming November 7th, and then they followed that up with their ID Xbox montage, which nothing really jumped out at me for that at all. Was there anything from you guys?
It confused me a little bit. I've not seen. Again, I kind of dip in and out. I dip in and out of Microsoft stuff, and I've not really seen anything about it that's really excited me. But I'm always open to new things, and I'm hoping that they can sell it, the ID thing to me as time goes on. We'll see how it goes. There's nothing really new there, I don't think. So it could work out well. It could be hit in.
Yeah, we'll see what they come up with from there. But like I said, there's nothing that jumped into me. Dragon, anything from you?
Nope. And anything that would be there would be would get my attention on Steam first. So nah.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. And then they showed off Ashen, which looked very strange. It had a really weird style to it, and it looked like it was co-op. But beyond that, that's all I could really tell about what the game's going to be like. Did either you guys take anything more away from that? Dragon?
No, just pretty much that. I would. I'm up for a co-op game. You know, if it turns out well, I'll definitely jump into it. But yeah, we need to see more on that one.
Yeah, definitely. It looked kind of not early. You know, the footage didn't look early, but I think it's still early days for it. So we'll hopefully see more of that going forward. Cora, did you get a chance to see that one?
Yeah, sorry, I've seen little bits of it. It could be, it could be interesting to me. I like big monsters. I like that kind of. I like the kind of aesthetic that it's got. I like co-op games, so
Yeah.
it's got real potential. The art style looks a bit odd to me, but I can probably get on board with it.
Yeah. I think it looks good. It's just I think we definitely need more information on what it is and what you do. Is it co-op? So a lot of questions about that, but certainly the art style's piqued my interest. Certainly on that one. And then after that we had the Life is Strange kind of trailer. Now I thought at first this was for Life is Strange 2, but it's not. It's for the kind of. I think it's almost like a preamble to the second season. It's like a 3-episode thing they're doing, from what I've heard. So that's quite interesting because I know certainly obviously the original's in PS Plus this month, and I played the first episode of it a while back, and I did enjoy it. I just never followed up on it. So definitely interested to see more of that. What about you guys? Did you guys spend any time with Life is Strange, Dragon?
No, I've got it, but I need to play it. So I've heard good things, and once I play it, if I enjoy it, I'll definitely get Before the Storm, which is what we saw yesterday.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the name. It's Life is Strange Before the Storm. That's 31st of August. The first one's going to be.
Yep, but for now, go get through the original release.
Yeah, totally. Cora, did you play the first one?
I always like the conceit of the first one, the kind of the butterfly effect idea and things like that.
Mhm.
So, I'm interested in it. I know that the guys that did the first one made Remember Me as well, which I always thought was a bit unfairly maligned. So I'm interested in the prequel. I think I'll probably make a point of grabbing it. Yeah, I like the look of it from what I saw at least.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think I'm gonna probably sit there and play Life is Strange. Then play through the first one probably with my girlfriend over the next month or so, at some point, and then we can, when this comes out, if it's any good, we'll go and give it a shot and see how it goes. So, yeah,
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, glad to see that getting more because I think it was one of those ones. It's quite not a niche title, but it's not your typical, successful game. It's about a young teenage girl, dealing with life, and then having weird powers as well, I suppose. So yeah, definitely glad to see more of that. And then moved on to Shadow of War, which I don't know. I think that looks fantastic. I can't wait for that. I loved Shadow of Mordor. This looks, it looks fantastic. It looks more colourful. It's more. Just more of everything. Dragon, what about you? Because I think you seem to quite like that from what I could tell.
Yeah, I got bored of the original, but this, the orc humour definitely caught my attention. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm just looking forward to playing it with that because it does seem like it would be a better way of keeping my interest. So, yeah, I was going to skip it beforehand, but now I'll keep an eye on it and maybe pick it up in a sale. Depends when it's coming out too close to other things for me to buy on launch.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff coming out really close to other things at the moment. It's the end of the year's packed for me, certainly. But yeah, Cora, what about you? You a fan of the last one, Shadow of Mordor?
I never really got into it. This one though, it hadn't been on my radar until I watched the E3 video, and it looks really, really good. It looks, graphically, it looks amazing. So I don't think it'll be a day one purchase, but I think it will be a purchase.
Yeah, I think so, definitely. I think I probably need to go back and replay the first one as well, actually. 'Cause it's one of those games I think I played quite a lot of, but never actually finished. So yeah, definitely can't wait to go back to this and see what we get. And then after that, it was Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which just looks like more emotions the game. Um, it looks fantastic, lovely art design, lovely music. And it's one of those games I never really played much of the original. I played like maybe half an hour to an hour of it. Was like, oh, this is quite good, and then never went back to it. Cora, what about you? Did you ever get a chance to play Ori?
Ori came with my Xbox, and I got as far as soon as I realised that something bad was going to happen at the start. I kind of noped out and never went back to it because I don't deal well with emotional games. I just don't. So I'd really like to go back and play it because I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah.
And I'd really like to do that before the sequel comes out, so I can maybe double up on them. But I don't like to admit that I've been close to tears at a game, and that one nearly got me.
Oh bless.
Yeah.
No.
No.
You were quite right that the start of that game is like, oh my god. So yeah, if you're not good with dealing with that, it was probably a good idea. What about you, Dragon? Any interest in this one?
Yeah, I mean, it looks great, but the original is one of many games that I need to play, but I have on Steam. So once I get through that, I'll give this a look. But yeah, the trailer did look fantastic. The visuals were great, music was wonderful. So yeah, fans of the original have something to look forward to there.
But yeah, Ori looking good, and definitely if you've already got the first one, then certainly this looks like more good stuff from them. Which takes on to the kind of last of our last couple of sections here. Big Phil came back on and started talking about backwards compatibility again. The big thing they're kind of showing off is that they're expanding it to include original Xbox games. So that's quite a decent addition, I suppose. Although you do kind of wonder how many people still have original Xbox games kicking about. I mean, especially over here where the Xbox never really sold that well. So it's an interesting addition certainly. What about you guys? You guys get any original Xbox games kicking about?
I've still got about 10, and it's none of them are any good. I've got Project Gotham 2, I've got Mortal Kombat Deception, a couple of the first two Halo games. There isn't anything there that I would be desperate to play on the Xbox One. I would prefer to concentrate on making the whole of the 360 library backwards compatible before they start thinking about going back to it. Because as you say, especially in the UK and Europe, the Xbox wasn't a massive seller. So it's a nice to have. It's not an essential. It's not an essential thing for me.
Yeah, well, certainly. I mean, I know I do have a handful of original Xbox games, but I never actually owned an Xbox. It was just because you could play them on the 360 as well. So yeah, I'm interested to see what they bring to. What about you, Dragon? Is there anything you'd be looking forward to playing on it?
Just Panzer Dragoon Auto because I can emulate everything else on my PC, or play on my PC that I want to play. So feels like the best games on Xbox are already available elsewhere, but there are a couple of gems that would otherwise be lost to time. So props to Microsoft for rescuing them. Hopefully.
Incidentally, out of the 4 or so Xbox games I have, one of them is Panzer Dragoon Orta, so I will be hopeful that if they can bring that to it, I will be playing that as well. So yeah, good re-addition. As long as like you said, God, as long as it's not kind of going at the expense of more 360 games getting compatible, then that seems perfectly fine. And then later on this year, they're going to be releasing free 4K updates for Gears of War 4, Forza Horizon 3, Killer Instinct, Minecraft, and Halo Wars. So that's coming for free, and obviously more 4K patches for other games will follow as well. So yeah, and then that brings us on to the kind of last game of the show, which was obviously something that was kind of, I wouldn't say not so much revealed as it was teased at the EA show when they showed off Anthem. And I think this kind of went a long way to kind of making people a bit more enthusiastic about it, certainly than they were on Saturday, because on Saturday it was just like, what is this? It looks generic as hell. Whereas this time round, I think, yeah, it doesn't look like it does anything particularly new, but it still looks fun. It still looks good. It looked really good actually. Graphically, I thought it looked quite nice, and definitely seemed to be very Horizon stroke Destiny. In the kind of systems that it's going for. Cora, what about you? I mean, do you get any interest in Anthem?
Maybe. As you say, it looks good, but then just about everything does nowadays.
Yeah.
It's something I might pick up in the future. I can't say that the E3 presentation has drawn me to it specifically, but again, I'm always happy to be convinced by something.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's just a game that's kind of there almost. It's just like these are all things that are popular at the moment. Loot systems, team-based multiplayer modes. Yeah, it seems like it's taking a lot of stuff that's popular and putting it in a new skin. Which isn't, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, there's a lot of really good games that have done that in the past. It's just, is it going to be enough to kind of really draw people to it? And I think it's one of these games that's going to live or die by A, how you support it, and B, who picks it up and who plays it. If you've got a group of friends that kind of decide, yeah, let's buy this and play it, great, I think you'll probably have a good time with it. If you don't, then it's, it'd be like playing Destiny with randoms. It's probably not something that's going to be much fun, I would imagine. Dragon, what about you?
Oh,
Dragon?
Have you been in there yet?
Have we lost him again?
Fired it. Yeah, I think he's having a bit of a nightmare here.
Use the XP.
He felt he liked that much about Anthem that he just disconnected and fucked off.
he actually had to leave and go
Yeah.
and lie down after watching
he
the
was
trailer. I
so
think that's what it is.
overwhelmed by it.
No, he's definitely in an Anthem related coma now, I think.
Yeah, the Anthem put him to sleep. Okay, well, we'll just kind of wrap it up there because unfortunately I've got other things to go and deal with. But yeah, I just want to say, listen, thanks Cora for joining me for this. It's been great to have you, man.
Yeah, it's been good to do this. I was really quite gutted I wasn't able to do the EA one because this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, man, don't worry, you didn't miss much with the EA show. There was nothing much particularly worth talking about. But yeah, no, so definitely thanks for coming on. Hopefully we'll be able to get you on for some other time. And Dragon, who has just passed into a coma, thanks for joining us as well, Dragon. Godspeed, yes. So yeah, thanks for joining us. If you keep an eye on the YouTube channel, you'll see more Post-Mortems coming up over the next few days. So come and have a look at them, and then obviously come and visit us at grk.uk, sorry, and let us know what you're thinking of E3 so far. Okay, so it's bye-bye from me and bye-bye from Cora.
Bye now.
Bye-bye, and I'll say bye for Dragon as well. Bye-bye. Okay, bye-bye.